Sometimes the smallest act of kindness plants a seed that grows into something unimaginable. On a quiet afternoon, a tired waitress handed two hungry orphan kids a warm plate of food, no questions asked. 18 years later, a helicopter touched down on her modest lawn. What happened in between will leave you speechless. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon in 2007 when Angela Morris, a hard-working black waitress at a roadside diner in Georgia, spotted two drenched and shivering kids peeking through the restaurant window. She had seen tough times herself, being raised by her grandmother after losing her mom at 9, but nothing prepared her for the look in those kids' eyes. Their names were Eli and Tessa, siblings no older than 8 and 5, no shoes, no guardian, just hunger written across their faces. Angela didn't wait. She waved them in, dried their feet with old napkins, and brought them hot pancakes, grits, and chocolate milk. When the manager scolded her for feeding them without charge, she stood her ground. They needed food more than we need that $5, she said. And when the kids refused to go back to the shelter that had mistreated them, Angela used her lunch break to walk them to child services herself. Then, like a chapter closed, she never saw them again. Angela kept working, day in and day out. Same diner, same routine. She didn't have much, but she always gave what little she could. Customers knew her for her warm laugh and free refills, but no one knew she often skipped her own meals to send money to a local foster center. She never talked about what happened that day with the two kids. It wasn't a story to her. It was just something any human should do. A simple act, forgotten by the world, but not by the ones it saved. 18 years passed. The diner closed. Angela now worked cleaning office floors at night and lived alone in a small rented house near Atlanta. She had arthritis in her knees, but never complained. "God's been good," she'd say, every time someone asked how she was doing. Then came the sound no one in her neighborhood ever heard. It was a sunny Saturday morning. Angela had just finished her laundry when the roar of a helicopter echoed overhead. Neighbors rushed out, kids pointed, dogs barked, but the chopper hovered directly over Angela's backyard. Confused and scared, she grabbed her phone, heart pounding. As the helicopter gently descended, a polished man in a tailored suit stepped out, followed by a young woman in a white coat. Both wore broad smiles. Angela stepped outside, barefoot and cautious. "Are you Miss Angela Morris?" the man asked. "Yes, I'm Eli, and this is my sister Tessa," he said, eyes glistening. "You fed us 18 years ago. You saved our lives," Angela gasped. Time stood still. Eli and Tessa were now grown, confident and radiant with gratitude. They shared how Angela's single act of kindness changed the entire course of their lives. After she walked them to child services, they were placed in a better foster system. They were adopted 6 months later by a loving couple in Seattle. Eli went on to become the co-founder of a tech company that built medical tools for children in developing countries. Tessa became a pediatric surgeon, saving lives the way Angela once saved theirs. They had spent years searching for her, and when they finally tracked her down through diner records and foster files, they decided a simple visit wouldn't be enough. "We came in a helicopter." Tessa laughed through tears, "because what you did for us was larger than life." They didn't come empty-handed either. Eli handed Angela an envelope. Inside was a deed. It was for a brand new house being built in her name, mortgage-free, on the outskirts of Atlanta, near parks, near peace, near everything she'd never had. Tessa placed a bracelet on Angela's wrist. It was engraved with the words, "You fed more than our hunger. You fed our future," Angela cried, knees buckling with emotion. But Eli caught her. "You don't have to clean floors anymore, Miss Angela. Let us take care of you now." The crowd that had gathered applauded, some wiping tears. Angela never asked for thanks. But that day the universe returned what she had given, not in money, but in love, in legacy, in lives changed. Sometimes you don't need a cape to be a hero. Just a plate of food, a kind word, and a heart big enough to believe that even the smallest moment can echo through generations. That was Angela Morris. And this is Life Lines, where real stories remind us that hope, kindness, and second chances still live among us.